Welcome to Community at Home for Thursday, June the 18th. I want to take just a few minutes and talk to those of us who say that Anthem Community Church is your home. And if that's not you, if you're watching this on Facebook or you go to another church or you know me from other churches, you might want to just click out now, because I really want to talk to, as I like to say, the Anthemites a little bit. When I started thinking about that it's been since the 1st of March since we've had a normal, full, regular Sunday. And I think about how there's a lot of people that I love deeply and care for and enjoy the privilege of pastoring that I haven't seen since the 1st of March. And now we're into June. And we know that it looks like that we're going to be in phase 2 for probably till the end of June. And so this coming Sunday, we're going to have 4 services unless the rush is quick, and then we'll add a 5th. And you can be able to sign up for that starting Friday at noon on our webpage. Only our webpage. Can't go to Facebook and do it. Can't go to the app and do it. You might have to scroll down a little bit on your screen, and if nothing's happening, make sure you refresh, but you sign up for that. And if you're holding off and you're waiting for other people to go, don't come to church. I'd love to see you. I think it'd be good for your soul. We've been through a lot this year. To think that 2020 has been it's been a difficult year. I started the year off in Israel for 2 weeks. And that was challenging and fun and learning experience in so many ways. And then in February, we've had a major leadership change that's incredibly difficult and hurtful, confusing. And we really didn't have time to process, mourn, grieve, individually or as a church. And then COVID hits. The last 3.5 or so months as a church, we haven't been dormant. We haven't stopped. We've continued to be the church through small groups, through ministering to doctors and nurses in Tuba City, Arizona, to Club Christ, to Casa de Luz. We've done a lot of those things. And we're continuing to move forward. I'm looking forward to the opportunity for us to have a family meeting as a church in the coming weeks or month, or whenever that makes the most sense, to talk about some things and to be able to put some things down on paper so that people will have a better understanding of where we're going and what it is. It's a trying time. There's a lot of questions about church and church attendance across the country and among pastors. And I know there's people who have moved from our church because COVID-19 moved up a move or caused the move to happen. So there's a lot of things that's going to be different. And what is church going to look like in the future? And we have, as a church, from day one, it's been about helping people live the life of Jesus in everyday life. We have never been a church that's all about Sunday. But sometimes I think we get caught up in that. And I know as a staff, we can get caught up in that. And as a pastor, I can get caught up on that. I actually go through the year based on the days Sunday's on. June is 7/14, 21, 28. And that's just the way that I think. Sunday's incredibly important, but it's only a part of what we do. And I want us to see as a church that Sunday when we gather, it is a celebration of the life that we just lived, the week that we just lived, and as a motivation to live the Christian life again in the week that's just beginning. I don't think Sunday morning is ever meant to be the discipleship arm I don't think this Sunday morning is ever meant to be the only place that you get your spiritual learning. So over these past 3 or 4 months, myself as well as you, as I've processed and thought, I know that we've got to get better in some things. We've got to have some more clear structure, clear systems in place as we do what God's called us to do, and that is to make disciples. God never called us to have a church service. What He's called us to do is make disciples, and the way you make disciples is you teach people to obey the things that Jesus taught. And so that's where we're going. What's that going to look like? I don't know. We're in the process of figuring that out. We know there's going to be some changes, continue to be some changes. There's a verse in Hebrews, it's in Hebrews 13, starts with verse 17. It's a challenging verse for you and for me. And what I mean by you as the church member, the church attender, and me as the pastor. Listen to this verse, Hebrews 13:17. Obey your spiritual leaders and do what they say. That's challenging, isn't it? Their work is to watch over your souls, and they are accountable to God. Wow, that's challenging. Give them reason to do this with joy and not with sorrow. That would certainly not be for your benefit. I'm going to read it again. Obey your spiritual leaders and do what they say. Their work is to watch over your souls, and they are accountable to God. Now, I understand theologically that every human being is accountable to God. We all will have that moment where we stand in God's judgment, and if we're not covered in the righteousness of Christ, that will not go well. But there is specific callings on people and their lives. And as a pastor, I have a calling to help your soul. I can't help your spirit. Only Jesus can do that. But I can help you allow Jesus to help your soul. And I'm accountable to Him. And that's a heavy, heavy burden. But you also have a role to play. And we're in this together. And we're in a challenging time. Challenging time socially in our country. Challenging time politically in our country. And challenging time and a health crisis. And then that's not even to talk about the economic crisis. And it's not that we need Jesus more than we've ever needed Him. That's not true. We always need Jesus. But I hope that we would stay true to what our bottom line is. And our bottom line is to help people live the truth of Jesus in everyday life. And so the question I have to ask myself as the pastor is, how closely am I walking with Jesus? How closely am I presenting Jesus to the people around me? And as a follower, as an attender, as a member of Anthem Community Church, you have to be asking yourself that. Is my life reflecting the life of Jesus? Am I gentle? Am I kind? Am I forgiving? Am I doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing? Am I staying away from the things that I'm not supposed to be doing? Am I being obedient to what Jesus and what the Father and what the Holy Spirit are calling me to do and what they're calling me to be? I'm in that. I hope you're in that. And as we move forward, whatever the future is going to be, and the roadblocks that we're going to have, and the bumps that we're going to have, and the challenges that we're going to have, and the celebrations that we're going to have, and the glorious times that we're going to have, to know and to remember that God is always with us. Jesus says he'll never leave us. And for those of us that have claimed the gospel, we've declared it and received it, we have the very Spirit of Christ, which means we can get through COVID, we can get through staff changes, we can get through structural changes, we can get through election years, we can get through all of those kinds of things. I long for the day. I long for the day. I long for heaven. Don't you? I long for heaven. But in the meantime, we're here. And I long for us to be able to gather again. I long for the breezeway and the hallways to be filled with children running around. I long for the day when the room is filled with praises. So let's keep praying for that. Let's keep working towards that. In the meantime, we'll gather as 50, and the rest can gather online. And we will stay strong in the Lord, because that's really the only choice we have. Love you guys. Hope to see you very soon. Have a great Thursday.